But let me first lay out the broad parameters of this discussion. The question we're asking on this broadcast: have terrorists been glorified in IC814, the Kandahar hijack? Has role of Pakistan's ISI been whitewashed in this Netflix series? And let me take this one by one. Advaita Kala, let me kick off by asking you, have terrorists been glorified in IC814, the Kandahar hijack, in this Netflix series?
Well, I don't know about being glorified, but certainly humanized. And I think that is equally problematic, because there should be no gray areas when it comes to terrorists. We know exactly what they stand for, what they're capable of doing, what they do, and how far they're ready to go to pursue their agenda. So I really don't think that there is any need to even glorify. You just have to not humanize them. And unfortunately, that is what has happened with this show. And that is why people are responding to it in such a negative manner, because this was obviously a very traumatic incident in India's history. Incidents like this do scar the psyche. That is why they are carried out. That's why terrorists carry them out. We all saw a couple of years later, when 9/11 took place and thousands lost their lives, how the Americans responded. So these are very traumatic events. I'm speaking from an emotional and a psychological perspective. Now, you will never find Americans making a film on 9/11 or a series on 9/11 where, even if they want to show governmental or intelligence failure, they will never humanize or glorify terrorists. That's just not acceptable.
Okay, Ravira Bharadwaj, respond to the criticism that this shows terrorists in a humane manner. And I'll come to that Bhola and Shankar and the Pakistani names, the real names of these Pakistani terrorists in a moment. But respond to this criticism that terrorists are being humanized through series like this.
No, I agree they shouldn't be humanized, but there's something called as creative liberty. In cinema, we do have a creative liberty where we are showing the different side and the actual storyline that actually took place during that time, because I know the filmmakers generally stick to the truth of the incident that happened. So I think it's just a way of showing the other side, but definitely I agree they shouldn't be humanized. But we can be open about seeing what exactly went down in their heads, in their minds, and that's why this incident took place. I think this was a filmmaker's style of telling people that you should understand the psyche also, why this happened.
Raghav Avasthi, would you buy this logic that it's a creative license that a filmmaker has? Why should people object? Even if terrorists are being humanized, maybe in the mind of the filmmakers, the terrorists had a humane angle to them.
There are two aspects here. First aspect is, of course, that there was an intelligence failure. There is no doubt about it. And if the web series shows that there is intelligence failure, there is nothing wrong. Having said that, what I have more of a problem with, of course, is the names that have been depicted. And secondly, the absolute whitewashing of the role of the ISI and the Afghan Taliban, which at that point in time used to be completely under the control of the ISI. Since then, they have broken free, or whatever it is, they are probably not under the control of the ISI. So I think the most insidious part of this film is when you take an intelligence agency that has been inimical to India since day one, and you are trying to show them as if they tried to save innocent lives. And just look at the manner in which the Taliban has been depicted, as if they are not the kind of terrorists that till now they don't allow women to be educated, and they have been depicted as if they were trying to help in some sort of a bona fide manner. I don't know about Advaita ji, but I've actually watched the whole web series. I don't know whether she has been able to get the time to do that, but after watching the web series and after also having followed the newspapers at that point in time, I have realized that this is nothing, this is absolutely nothing, but as Veer Sanghvi put it, Veer Sanghvi ji is somebody who's not much of a supporter of the BJP. He has said that it seems to be some sort of a whitewash of the role of the ISI. And all the blame is being put on Indian intelligence agencies, and they have been portrayed as some sort of bumbling idiots. So it's a bit like,
when Indian intelligence agencies goofed up really badly. That's so close after the Kargil War of 1999. And, I reported the Kargil War in 1999. I reported IC814 hijack. I reported the attack on the Indian Parliament. All of that, it was happening in that same phase. And the lesser said about India's intelligence agencies at that time, the better.